So to go through the features, let's use a basic subtractive patch, oscillator into a filter, filter into a VCA, and the two channels controlling the filter and the VCA, and that's going to be about it for the patch. You're currently listening to the first channel opening up our VCA, and this is in ADSR mode. You stick with that shape for the VCA. This could very easily be an LFO. There's a basic AD, or a full 3-stage envelope with rate control, attack, sustain, okay, and hold. I'm going to stick in full ADSR mode. I'm going to move to channel 2. Now by default, this is normal to the gate input on channel 1, so I only need one gate to activate both sides. Moving the filter down. Get some nice crunch from that tube VCA. Let's take the second output into the CV in on the filter. We flick down to look at channel 2. This is also set as an envelope. Slightly longer. Again, could have this as a dual AD. With the top channel controlling the VCA, and the second that filter. I'm going to stick to full ADSR mode. For channel 1 for our VCA. Channel 2 for the filter. More open if we want. Now we can really easily flip this to be an LFO, so let's set channel 2 right down to an LFO. Now in ADSR mode, we get a rise, hold and fall and a rate control. And this is just affecting the filter. Taking this out, you can hear we've still got that envelope controlling the VCA. Go back to be an envelope. We've also got inverted outputs that we can use as well as, or instead of the normal outputs, we've got a retrigger in to retrigger both the LFOs and the envelopes, and like I said, the gate normal in or two separate gate inputs. So this next patch is in stereo, and I'm just showing off the dual AD envelopes. Everything's right there at your fingertips with these 4 knobs, and I'm playing these into a low pass gate. So we've got that little bit of extra ring from a low pass gate, playing 2 different melodies panned hard left and right. So they're shortest values, they're great for striking these low pass gates. Adding a little bit of decay, you can even get that extra bit of ring. We can go from short to long mode, let's say on this channel first. And then the other. It's a simple patch, but it's great just for controlling both the attack and decay on both channels at once without having to use switches to flip between what the module's doing. So in this patch I'm going to use both sides as an LFO and use a stereo patch to demonstrate some of the LFO differences. Gate 1 is affecting the left hand side of a SARA VCF that's panned hard left, and Gate 2 an envelope or LFO2 is affecting the VCF on the right hand side of SARA, which is panned hard right. So full stereo filtering and 2 channels, 1 for each side, left and right. Flicking the first channel into LFO. We've got 2 modes of operation. We've got the ADSR mode, which gives us a rise, a hold and a fall. Or in AD mode, this just becomes a looping envelope and it's just the attack and decay stages. So the attack and decay at their fastest, these knobs have no effect. We've got a ramp wave, saw wave, something more triangle like, but these have no effect. In the full ADSR mode, we've got the rate control. We can still use that like an AD. This time with a rate control and some holds. You can see that LED move back and forth. Get exactly the same. Channel 2. Flicking this down to look at channel 2's controls. Again, just the AD. We're going to see both at once. So just listen to that second LFO, let's put a gate in. And this is only going to be active when I've got a high signal. So here's going to a negative voltage, and that cuts the LFO's activity off. High voltage again restarts it. So you can treat this like a CV start and stop, like a hard gate on and off for the functions of that LFO. Now this would work for the first channel as well. So we're going to take channel 2 out of that mode, taking the cable out stops that on and off activity, and these are free running. LFO 1's now free running. Let's patch the gate in. This is cut off because I'm at a low voltage. And active again. So both channels have that same functionality. Unplugging that, we return back to normal. Let's say I want to re-trigger channel 2. So that's just some simple dual LFO patches, and we can have these both active at the same time. There's some nice 2-stage or 3-stage stereo LFO action or dual monophonic LFO action to patch around separate places in your patch, or we can have an envelope or an LFO as you're going to see in the next section of the video. Okay, so let's look at setting up something a bit more complex with this patch. I've got a wavetable oscillator droning in the background through some effects, triggering this ADSR to modulate one of the parts of the wavetable. Now that's the longer mode, and you can hear that ADSR shape, the rise of the attack, quick fall to decay, and it's holding at that sustain level before releasing. Standard ADSR. With no sustain, this just rises and falls. To try and expand on this a little bit, we can actually use the re-trigger input, and I'm going to patch a random gate into that trigger in. Let's speed up this random gate. Notice we're getting a little bit more movement in that patch down. Now for that part of the patch, we're going to actually leave that there. Plugging in the first part of the patch. Take this one out. I'm going to flick channel 1 to be an LFO. You see we get this movement between the A and the D. I can get some sustain in between. Now let's add the second part of the modulation in that we started with. Some much more complex modulation. One thing we can add to that is a gate input to the LFO channel on channel 1, and actually use this gate input to choose when a high voltage sets this as being active or a low voltage as inactive. see that's now inactive, just channel 2 is being modulated. You can see the LEDs in channel 1 are not actually moving, and we're not getting that LFO movement. And let's just speed up the LFO. It's inactive again. Inactive again. With the addition of a retrigger for the ADSR and the gate to choose when the LFO is on and off, we can start to get some more complex modulation to move around our setup. As always, hit like and subscribe for more videos every week, and check the Patreon link in the description to see how you can support my channel.